Do's and don'ts of social media for business. By the time you're done watching this video, you'll understand what does and does not get results when using social media for business. First, you're going to gain some insights on how to get the best results for your business using social media. Next, I'm going to make you more comfortable and you'll understand what to post. And then lastly, you're going to gain some tools on posting with a purpose. You ready to get started? Let's go. Step number 1, if you're wanting to use social media for business, you need to go where your target market is. So if everyone's saying, oh my gosh, you should be on TikTok, or oh my gosh, you need to create YouTube videos, is your target market in those places? If not, don't go there. That's like going to a disco, which do discos even exist anymore? I don't know. But that's like going to a disco so that you can find your next C-suite clients. It doesn't make sense. You have to go to the right venue. So if you don't know where your target market is, ask people who are part of it, look at your current clients, ask them what social networks are you using? Which ones are you on with some degree of regularity? And then after you find out that information, go where they are. After all, it's their attention you're trying to get. Or in some unusual cases, but it does happen, sometimes people are trying to get the attention not of their target market, but of referral partners. If that's the case, the same rules apply. Go where those referral partners already are. The second thing to keep in mind when using social media for business is that the rules of engagement online are exactly the same as the rules of engagement in person. So many of us have been using social media for years, but I still find people who say things like, I want to start using it for business. I've never used it strategically. So if you are someone who has not used it for business in the past and you're just now starting to use it professionally, I don't want you to feel like you're behind the times. You're not. Everything happens in its right time. But I do want you to be strategic about how you approach it. And it's not that it's an exact science, but a lot of the things that work in real life work online. And if you want to know what to avoid the things that would annoy someone if you're to take that scenario and make it in real life. So for instance, if you imagine being at a networking event and someone comes up to you and they say, hi, my name is Crystal. And then you say your name. And then I say, hi, your name. How are you? How are you doing? Do you like mugs? I sell mugs. Do you have at least 10 friends who want to buy mugs? I bet they even have friends who want to buy mugs. We can all sell mugs together. You will hate them immediately. But there's people on LinkedIn that they'll send you a connection request, and as soon as you accept them, they start trying to pitch you. So we have to understand that using social media is building long-term relationships. It's not traditional advertising where you're just posting a message that people are seeing as they're driving by, or a standard commercial. It is social. It's built on some degree of mutual relationship, right? And so you want to understand that it takes time. The same way that if you go on a date with someone and it's your first date, if they were to turn to you and say, hey, you seem like a nice person, but I'm busy, and so I need you to decide today if we're going to get married or not. That would never fly. That's weird, weirdo. But we do the same thing with social media. We say, okay, I just signed up on this social network last week. Why aren't I getting sales today? It takes time to build a relationship. But the more consistent you are, over time, you're going to start to see more people refer you, more people want to do business with you, more people entering into your sales funnel, or however you're using it. But it takes time. You are developing relationships with real life humans, and they have to see that you're not only reputable, but they have to feel that you care. Now, here's a piece that I see people doing that's a little strange. They post things according to what they like, not according to the psychographics of their target audience. Psychographics are the things that people care about. So when you think about a target market, oftentimes we talk about geographics, where people live. We talk about demographics, things like their age, education level, gender, things like that. But psychographics are how they think, what they care about. And so, for instance, the psychographics of someone who lives in a gated community and buys luxury goods is very different than someone who lives in a new age tree house and farms their own food, right? Both could be potentially amazing people, but they have very different wants and needs. And so the things that they want to consume, the things that are of interest to them are very different. And so you have to understand the psychographics of the people you're trying to attract. What do they care about? What are they interested in? It's not just the me show. I'm showing you how amazing I am. I'm doing this. I'm amazing. Or even my products are amazing. Ooh. But how do you hook into what they care about? Sometimes in marketing, people will hook into people's fears or try to inspire FOMO, fear of missing out, kind of using that kind of negative pitch to get people's attention. And I'm here to tell you it works. That's not my way, because that's just not the kind of energy I like to spread, but it does work. Or you can take a more positive approach and know that, oh, people will be excited about this, or they'll find this interesting, or they'll find this weird. So find a way to present whatever information you're trying to present to attract business in a way where it's something that other people want to consume. How do you make it fun? Or how do you tie what they already know they're looking for into what you do? And you're really talking about your benefits, not your features. If you don't understand the difference, the benefits of electricity is the fact you can see. The features might be what kind of switches you have, how the electric is set up behind the walls. I don't care about any of that. I just need to be able to turn on a light switch and know that I can see and not trip over my husband when I go potty in the middle of the night, right? So whatever that looks like. But my point is that you want to make sure that you're understanding the psychographics of your people before you start posting. Before we go any further, I have a quick question for you. Have you already shared this YouTube channel with someone that needs this kind of information? If not, are you sure you're a good friend? I'm just throwing it out there. Not too much judgment, just a little bit of judgment. Take a moment to share this with someone who you think would find this content interesting and helpful, and it's much appreciated. Let's go ahead and get back to the content. So now that you've decided on the proper social network for you, based on where your target audience is, you understand what your people care about. You're not going to be weird and do things that don't work in real life, on social media. Now that you know all these things, it's time to get started. Please do create a posting strategy and do create a content calendar. A content calendar is very simple. You can actually use a regular calendar and you just write in there, on Mondays, you post this kind of thing. On Tuesdays, you post this thing. And you might even have the exact post in there. Now, there's technology that's content calendars, or you can use Google Calendar, or you can write on a calendar. Now, if you're using a digital version, it's easier for you to copy and paste. And some of them, there's social media management tools that have a content calendar where once you actually plug your information in, it'll post for you. There's many different ways to do this, but I'm saying this to say, don't just get on there and post something every day random. Have it planned out, have a strategy, understand what you want people to do as a result of consuming your content. Make sure that from time to time, you are creating posts that convert with action items. And it may not be a sale. It depends on the type of business that you have, but it may be signing up for a download. It may be getting a free gift, or it might be adding themselves to your email list because, on social media, you don't own that content. You don't own people's contact information. If that social network boots you off and you have 30,000 followers or friends, guess what? They're gone. But if they're a part of your email newsletter list, that's a different story. You still have access to their information. I'll share something that my current financial planner did that kind of got me on the hook. So we met through meetup.com, which used to be a very popular social network when it came to people meeting in person. After we met at a meetup.com event, she sent me a Facebook friend request. We stayed connected on there. After about a year or two, I saw this post from her where she was hosting a vision board party at her office. It was a beautiful office in downtown Houston. So I went, and there were all these women. It's kind of a ladies thing. And she's, serving us champagne, and we're making our beautiful vision boards. And she says, hey, if any of you need help achieving these specific goals, I'm always here and happy to help. And it wasn't like this really in-your-face sales pitch. She barely said anything. I mean, she was moving around and we're having fun and things, but it wasn't salesy, but she planted that seed. My point was that the action item from Facebook had nothing to do with hiring her directly as a financial advisor, but it came from her suggesting that we sign up and attend this in-person vision boarding party. So you see how that got me on the hook. I got a little bit more of a relationship with her, and a few months later, I ended up hiring her. So that's just a little tricky piece for you. Do use things like pixels for retargeting. So most social networks have something called pixels. It's a little code that you will actually put in the back of your website. What happens is there have been times where you've been on a website, you didn't choose to purchase something, you've gone on social media, and those very items you were looking at on that website have popped up. It's because they were using pixels. So if you're thinking about doing advertising in the future, even if you're not doing it yet, go ahead and add those pixels now so that when you're ready to start, it's already tracking the people who've been on your website and connecting with their social networks. Let me give you one piece of warning though, as we get ready to close out this video, because there's so many things we can do with social media and we could get really specific, and I have on certain videos on very specific social networks. But I want to warn you against something that I see people doing. And that is, if you need someone to manage your social media, don't just go find a young person. Don't just say, I got to find someone in high school or college, or just find the next door neighbor kid and say, go for it. That can really backfire. There's a very large nonprofit that a few years ago did that very same thing. And they found themselves embarrassed because the young person who they hired was young. Young people make mistakes, that's okay. They thought that they were logging into their own Twitter account, but instead they were logging into that nonprofit organization's account. Instead of posting to their own Twitter account, what they posted to this very large international network was, getting ready to hang out with my friends, we're about to get slizzard. Can you imagine a national nonprofit dependent upon people's donations getting slizzard? They just found a young person, not someone who had the understanding of how to set up social networks so that you're not posting directly from your phone. What stops need to be in place to keep that from ever happening. So I've shared something that'll help you future-proof your social networks, but I also want to help you future-proof your business. You'll notice in the description of this video, there's a link to download a Future Ready Playbook. That playbook is chock full of activities and worksheets that will help you be more strategic in planning your future and your business future. If you haven't already downloaded it, do it today.